Hi, hello. Welcome to another episode of Isaiah's Newsstand. It's your host, Isaiah Edwards. The date is May the 27th, 2024. Hopefully this episode finds you well, in good spirits and high hopes. As for me, I'm doing pretty good. Happy Memorial Day to you. If that's, thing you celebrate wherever you are. As for me, I'm chilling. I'm good. I feel like I've been sleeping a lot. My back's been hurting, which is usually like something that happens when I'm getting a lot of rest, unfortunately. But hey, I took a little bit of Advil, and it feels a little better, so that's good. Trying not to be the strongest warrior all the time, Sometimes you just got to take that pill, just feel better, okay? And I need to drink water. That's unrelated to the back thing, but I am trying to stay hydrated, and you should too. Anyway, let's see. Food Corner relates to what we did yesterday a little bit. I went over to a friend's house and did some nice, cool, chill, like hangs. It was really cool because we did something I've never done before. But we like played tested a new thing that they were working on, and it was a really neat process to kind of like do literal like game development type of stuff and like I don't know, make those kind of like rule changing things. I don't know. This is a very nerdy conversation I'm trying to get you guys into here, but more or less, let's just long story short, I had a really good time hanging out with my friends. Also, just played some like Magic the Gathering as well, so that was good. But while we were there, we ate some pizza. That's right. I had back-to-back pizza, y'all, which is not really surprising. I think that's definitely within my repertoire to eat pizza back-to-back. Dare I say that I could probably eat it again. I'm not going to. But, yeah, we had, I had made a request that I was like, can we just make sure that sausage is involved? And I just wanted a little bit of variety because I had pepperoni on pepperoni, But I think we had like pepperoni and sausage on it, and I was so happy. It was very yummy. It was great. Also, the breadstick, and this is from La Rosa's. So, I mean, hey, hate it or love it. I know some people out there, they're not big fans of La Rosa. La Rosa's? La Rosa's. I'm sorry. I'm from here. I shouldn't be talking like that. But no, actually, no. I used to not like it. I used to not be the biggest fan. It was sweet sauce. The dough was always like powdery, like flat. I don't know. I just didn't dig it. But now I kind of like the flavor. I kind of like the pillowiness of the dough. Maybe I'm just indoctrinated now. I don't know what it is. But I think what it is that I just like pizza. From Little Caesars to La Rosa's, Domino's. You know me. I do not care. I will put it in my mouth and try it at least once. Nope, I'm not even pausing. Let's just keep going. All right. I feel like I've rambled enough about my life, my day. It's been good. It's been chill. I'm in a good state of mind. I know I got to go back to work tomorrow. Not necessarily stoked about that, but there's a certain kind of like, hey, we're getting back to what we got to get back to. There's a certain kind of rhythm and rhyme of life. I don't know. So I don't hate it as much as I used to when I was younger. I don't know. Maybe that's just the passage of time and my ass getting old. But anyway, let me do my startup. Let's get into some real shit, some real news, and yap about that. But first, foremost, let's do our startup. Let's get right. Ooh. Oh yeah. Okie dokie. Our first story comes from CBS News. Israel airstrike in Rafah kills dozens as Netanyahu acknowledges tragic mistake. At least 45 people were killed in airstrikes in southern Gaza city of Rafah, local health officials said Monday, drawing swift condemnation against Israel. Gaza officials said the strike killed at least 45 Palestinians, including displaced people living in tents that were engulfed by fire. Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu said there had been a tragic mistake and said that Israel was investigating. They always say this fucking shit where it's like, oh yeah, we did an unproportionate response and you guys are very mad at us internationally. Oops, question, like it's like almost like with that question mark inflection of like, okay, well, we're investigating it, we'll get to the bottom of it, it won't happen again, and then it happens again. It always does. The airstrike came hours after Hamas claimed it fired a barrage of rockets towards central Israel as rocket sirens rang for the first time in months in cities like Tel Aviv. So that's what I'm saying. This is what happens all the time, not even just October 7th, type shit. Like there is a action from Hamas that is handled. Like at the end of the day, these motherfuckers have an Iron Dome. More times than not, it is a very minimal casualty rate, damage level, and then the response is we are going to hit them with all this American might that we got. We are going to throw missiles at you. We are going to just blaze away your shit. And this is just no different. It's just been a while since it's kind of been like this exact tit for tat, I guess, maybe on a national level, or the number is just bigger, and that's why it's making the headlines. But either way, it's always frustrating to see this shit, cover this shit. And it comes on the heels of, the ICC saying like, hey, you guys got to cut it out. We're literally telling you guys to stop it. And of course, it just kind of goes to show that, yeah, even though the ICC is going to try to get an arrest warrant for Netanyahu or whatever, it doesn't mean anything. It doesn't do anything. And it's a very frustrating situation to cover time and time again. But, we're going to be here. We're going to be talking about this shit. It's not going to stop. But yeah, literally the thing I have in my thumbnail, the picture, that's just so crazy. It literally looks like a fucking hellscape. And that's a man-made thing. For what? Self-defense? This is, once again, it's a tit for tat. No, you didn't lose anyone in that exchange, but you killed 45 people, and now you're saying, oops, our bad, kind of, sort of. But there was Hamas there, so like whatever. Because it's always that. Maybe you get this dovish response from someone, like some Israeli spokesperson, but then you always have like a countermeasure from some settler, some IDF spokesperson or something saying, no, we did the right thing exactly. In fact, we should have been harder. Like, come on. Like, it's wild to me, but the beat goes on. Let's move on to the next thing. From the Hindu, that is the outlet we got this from. I believe the initial story is somewhere from the AFP, if I'm getting that right, but let's go ahead and dig in. Gunmen kidnap 150 people in central Nigeria, officials. Attackers on motorbikes stormed Kuchi. Oh, I'm probably fucking that up, my bad. But I'm going to keep it. Kuchi village in Niger State on Friday night, where they killed 8 people and abducted about 150 villagers. Local government chairman Aminu Najume said. They came on around 100 motorcycles, each carrying 3 men. And I'm sorry, I don't mean to maybe inject levity where I shouldn't, but like 3 on each bike. For real. Hey, maybe. And seeing is believing. But I'm assuming we are talking motorcycles, no sidecar, which I get it. Hey, you got one guy in the front and then someone, riding behind. Okay. 3, though? Every bike? Maybe. Once again, I do kind of want to see that. I'm sorry. But hey, I had to kind of that did kind of stop me in my tracks when I first read it. But yeah, no help came throughout the 3 hours they took operating the village. And that's something that's very sad to see here. I initially had heard this from the BBC this morning, just kind of doing my little listening roundup, if you will, research. But essentially, they said that they had came into this village, they came in on motorbikes, 3 deep on each. That's what they say. And they literally kind of came and almost camped out. They were chilling, drinking tea. And then they immediately kind of escalated once they kind of got settled and started kidnapping people. People were getting killed. They started, looting, just kind of taking whatever they wanted. And this is a pattern we've covered before. In terms of just, news from Nigeria, in terms of I think 300 people were kidnapped. And I know that there was a big release of some, but still, it's crazy that this is still kind of going on. Still kind of linked with the same kind of people. They kind of say bandits. in terms of like a generality, but it's believed like Boko Haram and rival jihadist group Islamic State West Africa Promise, or ISWAP, also regularly carry out abductions in northeast Nigeria. So it just seems like maybe it is just random banditry. It might be some kind of like makeshift coalition. But yeah, I mean, this was something that kind of hit the news wire. So I figured, hey, let's go ahead and talk about it. Obviously, condolences to the lives lost there, and hopefully the people who have been kidnapped, abducted, can get home to the families. I can't imagine what that feels like, and I hope I never do. I always remember like watching the like locked up abroad stories. Those always seem very harrowing, very scary. And shit, I know we covered like, even things like with like Haitian missionaries getting kidnapped and stuff for their families. Ooh, like, so yeah. Just wanted to talk about that a little bit, but we'll go ahead and move on to an update. Oh, okay, good. Ooh, excuse me. What's not good is me burping. I'm sorry. From CBS News, more than 2,000 believed buried alive in Papua New Guinea landslide, government says. A Papua New Guinea government official has told the United Nations that more than 2,000 people are believed to be buried. People are believed to have been buried alive by last Friday's landslide, and has formally asked for international help. The government figure is roughly triple the UN estimate of 670 killed in the landslide in the South Pacific nation's mountainous interior. The remains of only 5 people have been recovered by Monday, local officials reported. It was not immediately clear why the tally of 6 reported on Sunday has been revised down. I feel like some people are really trying to like get at like why the number is so high in terms of 2,000, like where are you getting this number from? I'm sure that there's going to be more details. That's kind of why I kind of came back to even just say a number, because I know when I first talked about this, there was literally nothing. But it is believed that this landslide was seemingly caused by like rain, and obviously it's led to a lot of devastation. I listened to a story today of a family, literally like a boulder like the size of a car was like covering like them, and like in a way it had kept other lesser debris from like filling in and like completely like killing them, but they were covered. They were like stuck in that situation. They were eventually able to get saved, but yeah, I know that they're saying, oh, well, that number's really high, but I mean, I get that. I don't know, maybe it's just me just listening or as like a dummy, but like, okay, you're going to give a vague number, right? Like, hey, there's 2,000 people we believe buried alive. We don't know how many people are actually have been killed yet, so I don't know. I imagine there's going to be a more thorough, specific consensus of what's going on, tally, death tolls, if you will. But yeah, I mean, that's kind of currently an ongoing thing that I just kind of wanted to hop on and talk about real quick, in my Isaiah way. So yeah, let's go ahead and hit the next thing. We're moving to the States. Good old US of A. From CNN. Suspect arrested after 6 stabbed, including 4 girls, in separate attacks Massachusetts police say are likely connected. So a little true crime for you. A suspect was arrested Saturday after 6 people, including 4 girls between the ages of 9 and 19, were stabbed in separate attacks that Massachusetts authorities say are likely connected. The girls who were attacked at a movie theater suffered non-life-threatening injuries and were taken to Boston hospitals for treatment, according to police in Braintree. About an hour later, a 21-year-old woman and a 29-year-old man were stabbed at a Plymouth McDonald's and taken to hospitals with non-life-threatening injuries. A suspect in the McDonald's stabbing, Jared I'm saying this out loud and I realize I am lacking. Ravizza? We're going to go with Jared Ravizza. Was arrested 15 minutes after fleeing the scene Saturday night and faces multiple assault charges, the Plymouth County District Attorney's Office announced in a news release. Ravizza, 26, is the suspect in multiple South Shore stabbing incidents, the attorney's office said. Though no details on other incidents were provided, Braintree police have said it appears as though the attacks at the movie theater and McDonald's, which occurred about an hour apart, were related. So it looks like these are connected. The stabbing of the four girls at the AMC happened around 6 p.m. in Braintree. The theater was placed in lockdown shortly after the incident, an AMC employee told CNN. Now that I'm like actually thinking about this and reading this out loud, it's giving me like movie nostalgia, because I remember working there, like I working not at an AMC, but I worked at a movie theater, and I remember we would have to like go through a bunch of drills because the Colorado shit happened. And because of that situation, like everything was always gonna be on a heightened alert from here on hither. And you can understand why, and it just kind of reminded me, like, God damn, I could literally get my shit blown away, just because a new movie came out. Motherfuckers just like, there's a new Batman, and people are just feeling like they're the new Joker. God, man, like, and I remember just having those thoughts and just thinking about that. So I can't imagine working at the AMC that day, and then like this happens. You're like, oh my God, this is real. Oh, it's gonna happen again. Oh my God, it's happening now. But I am glad to say that, hey, at least these were non-life threatening. Like, so hey, this was, instead of like a fucking, gun or something like that, it was a knife. So there you go. But that being said, it's still fucked up to get stabbed. No one wants to get fucking stabbed. It doesn't matter whether it's non-life threatening or not. God damn it. That's still gonna fuck up your goddamn day, your life a little bit, a lot of it. But here, I said but here. Anyway. Let's dig in some more. Police discovered the suspect had left the theater in what appeared to be a black SUV, and video footage allowed authorities to capture its license plate, the release says. A vehicle matching the description was reportedly involved in similar assault in Plymouth, which is about a 30-minute drive south of Braintree. It's weird to me that these guys, gals, whoever, who decide, hey, I'm going to go postal, I don't know, maybe I'm being crass here, I don't know, whatever, and you have the energy and like the capacity to do something like this. Say, hey, I'm gonna do a stabbing, I'm gonna do a murder, I'm gonna do whatever, and then say, hey, I'm gonna take my show on the road. Like, that to me is a crazy vibe, to be like, hey, I just did that and I'm gonna go to another place and do it again. Like, and then you wind up at a McDonald's and it's like what it has to be mental health, right? Like, it's just one of those things when you turn yourself into a GTA character and you don't care about your star rating and you're just doing the shit. Like, it's just got to be that, because you've got to have now plugged yourself out of what is reality, and you're doing whatever you're doing now with your handy dandy toolie. I don't know. It's something the more I look at, the more I try to wrap my fucking head around, and of course I can't. But let's see here. I think there was some more shit I wanted to pull from here. Yeah, I got it highlighted separately, because we're going full fucking northeastern roundup here. Separately, Connecticut State Police said a suspect linked to a death in the town of Deep River had been taken into custody in Massachusetts. Police in neither state have confirmed whether the Connecticut case is connected to those in Massachusetts. So we're dropping a little bit of mystery here in our true crime. So a little bit of to be continued. I don't know. I will definitely keep you posted. But hey, we got a little bit of a double whammy, double header here. I guess maybe tripled, because it was a stabbing in two places, and then we got this other guy, a new challenger, has entered the arena at the end of this article. So yeah, I don't know. I'll try to keep you posted, like I always say. I do my best, don't I? All right, we have one more thing to cover, and yet again, it's another update. It is me keeping you posted. I can't say it enough. It's my tagline, one of my many. Let me go ahead and take my break, and then we'll go ahead and finish this thing. And then we can get to our barbecues, hopefully. Ooh, let me know if you had any good food, any good cookout this weekend. I would love to hear it. I'd love a good cookout story. But speaking of cookout, let's go ahead and, do that. And we'll go ahead and finish this thing. All right. Our last story comes from the CBC. Maybe there's a little bit of irony there because isn't that like I think that's a Canadian outlet. Yeah, it's totally Canadian. But hey, I like to get a third party perspective sometimes. I get the Guardian shit covering a lot of American news. I like it that way. Anywho, Memorial Day weekend storms kill at least 20 people in U.S. So yeah, I know we covered this. I want to say, was it Saturday, Friday? It's all blurring together for me. But a series of powerful storms in central and southern U.S. over the Memorial Day holiday weekend killed at least 20 people and left a wide trail of destroyed homes, businesses, and power outages. The destructive storms caused deaths in Texas, Oklahoma, Arkansas, and Kentucky, and were just north of an oppressive early season heat wave setting records from South Texas to Florida. Also, I think there's even like weather warnings in like Iowa and whatnot. So yeah, I'm not sure when the last time I covered it, if I had even said like, oh yeah, it's actually like an ongoing thing throughout the whole weekend. But yeah, it's definitely been pretty heavy, throughout various areas. Sad that the death toll definitely went up. I think when I covered it was like 5 or 6 or so, and then hearing that it went up from like what we had covered, from like Cook County, kind of measuring out, like winds up, ballooning to 20 people. So yeah, it's very unfortunate. Tornadoes are definitely something that is nothing to joke about. To me, it's one of my like big fears still. I know I've said this before on the podcast, but I used to be a big old scaredy cat whenever a storm would come through because I was like scared of like lightning and thunder. They were so loud, and like lightning could like kill you if it hit you, right? Sure, it's like a lottery like chance, but still it could happen. And I would inevitably grow up to realize that, like, it's more likely, though, that your entire life could be ripped apart by a tornado, or, you could just, like, die, like, in one. So that would be not cool, right? Like, it could just blow you away in a whole fucking twister, and you'd never be heard from again. You and the moo cows. So, yeah, obviously, very sad to cover this kind of shit. My condolences to the families, everyone involved. Because like I said, even when you make it, it's your whole life ripped apart. Your whole home is now pancaked, flattened, gone. Maybe your new car that you're literally like spending a whole month's rent on every month is now total. Now what are you fucking gonna do? Like, it is a reality that I wouldn't wish on anyone. So, once again, thoughts, everything to people who are going through shit like that right now. I know the beat's going to go on and we're going to, move on to the next natural disaster or whatever. But for the people who go through these things, I try to at least, note like, damn, like they got to completely rally for that shit. And I really hope that they do. And I'm sure that they will. So yeah, I guess that's where I'll end it. I know I've been rambling. I've been ranting as I am wont to do. But if you'd like to help out, support the effort, make my Memorial Day a little bit better, become a newsie today. Patreon.com/Isaiah News. Free ways to hit me up, IsaiahNews1@gmail.com. Feel free to follow me or the podcast on any of the socials you're on. Hit me up that way. That works. Subscribe, please, to the YouTube. I'm trying not to burp again. I am like stifling it. Oh, I'm getting in my zone. I'm suppressing it. Ooh, powerful. Anyway, subscribe to the YouTube. Do that. Maybe, yeah, it's free to do that. I'm not even like, I'm not paywalling that. What am I talking about? I'm just going to get into some rant about how I'll teach you the ways of how to suppress a burp. Because I do that all the time. No, hit the like button. If you're not on the YouTube, you're not into that. If you're on Spotify, whatever listening platform, respectfully hit the stars, leave comments. Sharing is caring. What can I say? But yeah, it just means a lot that you're listening. It's really cool that you do. And hopefully I see you soon for some more good news. I love ya. Bye-bye. Mwah.